Okay, I'm going to give everyone's quiz back. You got 5 minutes to finish it. Okay? If you're done, look over it again real quick. Make sure you've answered everything. So again, there's no talking, right? Okay, so quizzes and tests, there's no talking. You may use your notes right now. And that's it. Notes and your pencils. Violet. Devin, I think.
Raise your hand. He calls your name so he knows where you're at.
Brooke. Maya.
Yep.
Micah. Max, I think.
Which one, G or C?
G. John. James. Bridger. Damien. Baylor. Boston. Canyon. Trent. Billy. Kinley. Maggie. Harley. Rayleigh. Ambry. Riker. Grant. Nash. Tatum.
Right here.
Max C.
He's right there.
Abby. McKinley. Okay, ready to go. 5 minutes starting now. Okay. Use what's, is it totally broken? Done. Do I want to?
Thank you.
Your eyes on your own paper, please. Hey, there's still people finishing, so please be quiet. If you're not done, you need to finish up and please bring me your quiz. If you have a quiz still, please bring it to me. Hey, bring me your quiz though if you're not done, please. You were yesterday?
I'm already done.
Lines are not set for the time. Just points. So in order for your points to, so if you get the first one right, the second one is wrong. So split it. This right, this right. Here. Sense? Hey! You wait? You ready? Fired up? Don't be scared. Just a big bully, I guess. Big bully. I am a big boy too. I am. Okay, maybe we'll start. Trying to do. Okay, go to where we left off in your notes, please. So the goal is to have our test tomorrow. If you guys look at your calendars, we have an exam tomorrow. And then Thursday, we're supposed to talk about tautologies and contradictions. We might switch those days around. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. That way you guys have an extra day to study. Does that sound like a good, fair thing? You guys like an extra day to study? So tomorrow's the 16th, right? So tomorrow is supposed to be the exam. 1. And 17th, we're supposed to do tautologies and contradictions. So we're going to switch these around, switch these days. Tautologies and contradictions that we cover tomorrow will not be on exam 1. Okay? So we're switching these days around. Instead of exam tomorrow, we're going to do it Thursday. Okay, guys, I can't hear if there's people talking. Okay? Yes, say it again. No, I just said that. So no tautologies and contradictions on the exam. Okay? Questions? So we're switching those 2 days around so we don't get behind. Okay, so what we need to cover today, if I can open the file. Yesterday we got done talking about biconditional statements and logical equivalence yesterday. Now today we're going to talk about compound statements. What does compound mean? Who's got a good idea of what compound might mean? Just the word compound. Okay?
Like two things just smushed together.
Yeah, when you compound something, you smush it together, right? You compact it. Okay, so go to compound statements. I'm looking for the page. 22? I do want to go over your guys' homework from yesterday real quick, too. Okay, if we look at the homework, maybe. Actually, I want everyone to go to their homework real quick. I want to see if it's done. So if you're not done, then maybe I won't go over it. Yeah, the big truth table, exercise 9. I want to see everyone's exercise 9. Look at this, we're on a roll. Exercise 9. Okay, exercise 9. You need to let me know before now, then we can get it fixed, alright? Okay, we'll have to look at that. I don't sure what to do. That, you take it out, like you had it ever? Okay. Why did we get that done? Okay. Is there, you guys done today? Okay, make sure we get stuff done, we're supposed to, okay? When's your guys' study hall? Okay, those that don't have it done, you guys gotta get done by study halls, then, Robin and Brooke will go over it during study hall. You guys go over exercise 9 in study hall, is that okay? Okay, so those of you guys that have it done, good job. Those of you that don't have it done, get it done before then.
We'll start getting it done.
Yes?
Me and Richard didn't see the number two, the question two, because we worked on it together and we didn't see it.
Get it done before study hall. Same thing. Okay, let's look at standard forms of compound statements. Okay, here's our compound statements. So, all definitions right here. Okay, we've got a bunch of definitions to start. So the first one, we're going to recall the double negation of a statement written in standard form is just a statement with no negation. So, double negation, remember, was we take the negation of P, it's logically equivalent to P. Okay, so these are just reiterating some things from yesterday. In standard form, the negation of a conjunction is written as the disjunction of the negations. Okay, again, this was an example 12 yesterday to Morgan's Law. Remember the big fact table I told you guys? You need to know where it's at?
Yeah.
Okay, it's coming back right now. Okay, likewise, negation of a disjunction is written as the standard form as a conjunction of the negations of two component statements. So, if we look at this one, let me scroll down just a little bit. Okay, we have the negation of P or Q, that's logically equivalent to the negation of P, the conjunction of the negation of P with the negation of Q. Okay, again, rewriting these statements. So this is all reviewed from yesterday. Make sense? Okay, now we're going to apply it a little bit more right here. We have denying the consequent here on this one, or negation of a conditional. Okay, just another, again, go to example 12 to see it. So consider the following statements. When we say consider the following statements, what do we mean? What do we mean? Raise hands. What do we mean? What do we mean?
Look at the following statements and read them.
Look at the following and establish this is what we're using, right? We're reading and saying this is the facts right now. The facts right now, if we're considering these statements, we have the polar bear is white, the soccer ball is round, the football is not round. These are our statements we're going to work with. Okay, we have P, Q, and R. Well, the negation of R can be written as the football. The negation of R can be written as the football is round. Okay, the football is not round. The negation is the football is round. The negation of the conjunction of P and Q can be written as the polar bear is not white, or the soccer ball is not round. So let's think about the negation of P and Q. Huh? Okay? The negation of the conjunction of P and Q can be written as the polar bear is not white or the soccer ball is not round. So look at this. The negation, let's see what they're referring to. So the negation of the conjunction of P and Q. Negation of the conjunction, see that? We can say, well, the polar bear is not white or the soccer ball is not round. Sorry, this one. Negation of a conjunction, this one up here. So here's our negation of P and Q. We can say this or this. See how we did that right here? The polar bear is not white, or, that's this part, or the soccer ball is not round. So these statements on top match up with our examples. Okay, negation of a conjunction. Now we're going to look at negation of a disjunction using these statements. So in the negation of a disjunction of Q and R can be written as this idea, as a conjunction. So the soccer ball is not round, and the football is round. A negation of a disjunction can be written as a conjunction that has two negations. Yes?
So it says the football is not round, is it talking about football or football?
Football, like
Soccer football?
like a punt, like a
Or the
Aaron Rodgers.
Like American football. Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
American.
Green Bay Packers football. Okay, the negation of a conditional if P then R can be written as this. So if we have if P then R, so we're taking the negation of a conditional statement. So look at our conditional statement. If we take the negation of a conditional, it can be written as a conjunction of P and not Q. Okay?
Okay.
So the polar bear is white, and the negation of R would be the football is round. So the polar bear is white, and the football is round. Compound statements. Again, we gotta look at what we're up here with, okay? If we start with conditional, okay, if we're on a conditional statement. Another way to write this is this. The example saying, hey look, the negation of conditional P, if P then R, we're writing them like this on the right side. Okay, so your question, which one are you looking at? This one right here? This one here? Okay, so this one's a negation of a disjunction. So you come right here, negation of a disjunction, this is what happens. So this is my negation of my disjunction. It's logically equivalent to a conjunction. The negation of P to the conjunction of not Q. Okay, so that's why you're seeing disjunction here, you're thinking or, right? The reason you're not seeing the or, everyone pay attention please, because this is probably the main question that's going to come up again and again, like what's going on. Okay? We're using these statements up here to write these ones. So the negation of a disjunction is this guy. So they're saying, hey look, this is your disjunction, and then we want you to write it like this. The negation of P and the negation of Q. So you're going to take the soccer ball is not round, that's the negation of P, right? And that's our conjunction right here. The football is round. Is that okay? So that's why this statement doesn't have an or, because they're logically equivalent. So I just wrote the negation of P and Q, P or Q, by writing the negation of P and the negation of Q. Like this. Does that answer your question? Good, good question. Any others? Yes, Violet.
So on the top two, like if there's a negation sign outside the parentheses, and there's a negation sign for the P and the Q.
Yep.
The bottom one.
Uh-huh.
There's a negation sign on the Q.
Good. And it goes from conjunction to disjunction, disjunction to conjunction. Right? So that's how you remember which one does what. Questions?
Why is there only the negation sign on the Q for the negation of the condition?
Because it's not distributing the negation sign. It's not distributing it. It's just saying these statements, these are facts, you guys. So deep down, there's a reason why these are doing what they're doing. We're not going to get into the mechanical workings of how the proof of why those are working right now. We're just saying these are the facts. This side is logically equivalent to this. Yep, just is for right now. So there is a proof to it. We're not doing that right now, though. We're just trying to say, hey, look, can we use the fact? So if this is a given fact, you guys have 4 facts. Can you use the 4 facts to make statements? That's your guys' goal, is to be able to write the statements given the facts. Yes, James?
So my question is, why is the negation of a conditional statement and not like?
Again, right now, it's just a fact. That's what we just have to kind of just deal with right now. It's just a fact. Because there's a proof behind it to show why it works. We're just saying, this is true. Does that make sense? So you just got to accept that it's true. That it's true right now. It's like saying, you know, the area of a square is base times height, right? You know why?
Because that's the formula.
Because that's the formula. What I'm saying is, this is the formula, basically. I just need you to accept it for right now and be able to use it. So the question you have to be able to ask yourself is, can you write the negation of this conditional statement as a conjunction?
The difference between the formula for base times height and
accept that as a fact that is true right now. Just do that, because that's as far as we can go without getting us all lost. Okay? So just accept these 4 things as facts and be able to use them. And we got to be able to take a statement, write its logical equivalence. Take another statement, write its logical equivalence. Take another statement, write its logical equivalence. That's the base. That's what we need to start with before we get into deeper stuff. Okay? Yes?
So on exercise 10, when it says write in standard form, does that mean like not in some symbolic form, or does that make sense?
That means write just the words. Yes. Okay? So let's look at exercise 10. So notice this is the last exercise before our exam. Okay? So the only thing that is going to be different from the exam to your quiz is this one section. Your quiz had everything else on it, had biconditionals, had any other kind of statement on it, had the truth tables. Okay, your exam's going to be very similar to the quiz with extra stuff, this being some of the extra stuff. Okay? Yes?
So are you gonna have us start our quizzes before the time?
They're grading them right now. Yes?
Do you know any fish is
What?
Do you know any fish is
I can't hear him. What,
Do
please?
you know any fish is named Fred?
No.
Okay, then it's false.
Fred is a name, is a fish. Assume Fred is a fish. Yes?
So Fred is a imaginary fish?
She had her hand up. She had her hand up.
So on negation of a conditional, why is only you negated, whatever negated or whatever, instead of both of you?
Yeah, I need everyone to listen. So drop your pencils. Eyes up here. Hey. A lot of you are noticing, hey look, on these two, the negation of conjunction, negation of disjunction, the negation kind of looks like it's been distributed, right? It's not being distributed necessarily. Okay? So it's not the same idea. What we're saying is these statements are logically equivalent. It's a fact. We're just saying we're not looking at how or why they're logically equivalent right now. We're just telling you right now they are logically equivalent, except the fact for right now. Okay? Then, your question, Kat, yes? I say it right?
No.
Kadia, sorry. Okay? Your question is, why is the negation not applied to the P and the negation of Q here? Right? This is going to be a different situation, a different proof. Except the fact right now that the negation only goes to the Q. Okay? So just, you kind of have to blow off the idea of, okay, why is it here? Well, it's not distributing. It's not distributing. So that might be why some of our brains are saying, well, I want the negation to be right there. Well, no, because then that would make it logically equivalent to this as well, if that was the same. Notice if you put a negation here and here, this would be the same as this and this, which all 3 of these are not the same. So, for right now, we just have to kind of accept that, okay, this, the negation of the conditional statement, is P and the negation of Q. So, we just kind of have to accept it for right now and say, okay, that's the fact, we'll just be able to use it. You're welcome. It's very confusing because, like I said, my brain wants to distribute this. And it's not necessarily distribution we're looking at. We're looking at this statement is equivalent to this statement because their truth tables are what?
Same.
The same. So you can see that the truth table, if you were to make a truth table for this, those of you that are questioning this, okay, James, you have the issue here too, right? Those of you that are wanting to see why these two are logically equivalent, you can make a truth table for this and a truth table for this, and it will show you those truth tables are the same. That's essentially part of the proof for it. Because you would look at those truth tables and say, yeah, those are the same. And then you can see why they're the way they are. Yes? Okay.
So, I'm using the second example, third example.
So the third line down. So negation of just that one.
The one that's right above the whiteboard.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Hey, Maggie's talking. Should you be talking? Fix it, please.
So, it says P and Q. So if P, let's say P and Q are true and false, and then together they're true, does the negation that's on the side of the parentheses make it false?
Okay, so let's suppose P or Q. Okay, we had, let's suppose P or Q. Let's suppose this was true, right? But the negation of P or Q would now be false,
Yes.
right?
So the squiggle makes it false?
Yeah, so negation changes your truth value.
Okay.
Okay, so if the inside was true, the negation of the inside is false. Okay, which the negation of the inside, the negation of P or Q, can be written as the negation of P and the negation of Q. Let's think about this. If I have a conjunction, suppose, okay, the negation of P and the negation of Q, what is the truth value of this statement?
Be, true.
It has to be false, right? Because they're logically equivalent.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good questions. Any others? Yes.
So, when it has the disjunction right there, could you just put, in the second example, when it does the parentheses with the negation, could you just do that to the other negation?
Say it again. Disjunction here.
So, yeah, no,
That's a disjunction.
I know, but could you put that in parentheses and then just add a squiggle? With that?
Okay. Yes, I mean that statement could happen. Okay, the question is, can we put this disjunction in parentheses and put a negation on it?
Yes.
You can, but it doesn't. We're looking at this statement's logically equivalent to this statement. Okay, guys, eyes up. Okay, so I'm getting some of the same questions over and over again in different ways. Some of the good questions can help the rest of you. So listen, please. We need to just look at these statements and say, this is true, this is true, this is true, this is true. Don't do anything to the statements. Don't do any magic to them. Don't add anything to them. Don't do anything to them. Just know that this statement's logically equivalent to this statement. This statement's logically equivalent to this statement. Can you put a negation in front of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, but we're not going to because that would change our logical equivalent statement. Does that make sense? If you're asking this,
If they were the same, I was asking if they were the same, yeah. I was just asking if it was the same way, just to put parentheses around both of them and put a squiggle in front.
no, you can't do this. It's not distribution. So no, you can't like undistribute it. So good.
If it doesn't people lollipops and asking for them back.
Yeah, we can't take away the lollipops here in this case.
Yeah, but they would have already put it.
Okay. Other questions? Okay, remember your name?
What's Arbor Day?
Huh?
What's Arbor Day?
Arbor Day? It's like Tree Day.
Tree Day on the last Friday in April.
When is it?
Plant a tree.
When?
There you go.
When is it though?
You said the last Friday in April. So if you're looking at exercise 10, everyone look at exercise 10. Okay? Yes, James?
This is gonna make you mad.
No, it won't make me mad.
Arbor Day
Yes.
Foundation.
Why do the symbols get swapped with negation? Because I feel like just negating it and keeping the same thing is gonna,
What are you looking at?
where we just were. Standard form.
Which one?
Why do you switch an or to an and when I'm pretty sure an or would
Okay,
Because
you guys,
it's just.
okay, guys. I got people not listening and it's starting to drive me nuts. Okay, so fix it. Okay? He asked a great question. Who heard his question? What was it?
He said, why did you change the origin and because he does it, the or should just be the same.
Okay? Yes.
I feel like that would work just as well.
We're looking, there's a lot more to these facts. Again, these are facts. Okay? You guys just need to know this is true. That's it.
Really?
This is true. That's it. I didn't make it up. These are just facts.
It just is.
Okay? It's right now to help you guys make sure we don't get too deep into a subject and get us really confused. We just have to accept these as facts. They're true. That's the way it is. No, I'm not mad. I'm just making sure everyone else is listening. You got people that were talking while you were asking your question. Yes.
On the exercise 10, do you want us to write like the true value?
If it asks you to, yeah. Doesn't ask you for true value, don't worry about it. Okay. If you want to practice doing that, you can.
Let's start.
Okay. Questions on this? Again, these are facts. We need to accept them as just this statement's true, this statement's true, this statement's true. Okay? But why are they true though? If you were to explain, okay, why are these logically equivalent? What makes a statement logically equivalent to another? The truth tables are the same. So James, the answer to your question deep down, the reason this switches is because that's where this statement, its identical truth table, is when this statement happens. So if you were to make a truth table for this one and a truth table for that one, they'd be the same. Okay? So that's deep down why it works. We're just not making the truth tables yet for them. Yes?
Okay, so you said the reason why both of them are the same is because they have identical truth tables, right?
Yes.
So when you make the truth table, does it matter what truth values P and Q are?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like
Let's look at exercise 9.
10.
Okay, look at exercise 9, everyone. I didn't want to go over this yet because some people didn't do their stuff. But those of you that didn't do it, here's a good chance for you to get it done, I guess. Make sure you understand it. Okay, exercise 9. Okay, check your truth table with exercise 9 here. That's your completed truth table. Make sure it matches this one. Those of you that did the truth table, this is great practice for your test. If you can do this truth table, you're in business for the test. So go ahead and check it real quick, please. Who had the question about truths being across the top at the beginning of class? Looks good, right? Good job. Go ahead and check your truth table, make sure you're right, and then we're going to talk about logical equivalence here. Hopefully this will help some of your guys' questions with logical equivalence in our compound statements. If you're good on this stuff and you understand it, you can do exercise 10, yes. Okay? Otherwise, I need you guys to pay attention, make sure you got exercise 9 down here. There's 2 questions on exercise 9. Question 2 is probably the most important question because that's where you're asked about logical equivalence. That's what we're going to look at in just a second. Okay. James.
Probably, I was just confused on exercise number 11.
11.
Yeah, 11. I want to look it up.
Okay, wait just a minute, okay? Exercise 9. Question 2 says match up and list the statements from the above truth table that are logically equivalent. So that means you got to look at each statement. How many statements do we have here?
A few.
A few. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are P, Q, and R statements? P's a statement. Q's a statement. R's
But we have
8, 9, 10. Right? So we're going to compare all 10 statements and see which ones have the same truth table straight down. So meaning, if you were to compare columns, which columns are up and down, right? Which columns are the same? Which columns are the same? So this tells you what's logically equivalent. If we look at this, whoops, wrong way. Too far, too far. Okay, looking at the columns, the way you would do this, you start with P. Does P match up with anything? All the way across. Nope. Okay, then you say Q. Nope. R, nope. Q and R. P and Q. P and R. Q or R. P and R, Q and R.
Yes.
This is going to match up with this one, right? Okay? Notice the symbols are very different.
Yep.
Right? And this is the problem we're having on our examples we were looking at just barely. We're like, okay, those symbols aren't matching up right. There's no real sense to it. This is how we make sense of it, is we look at the truth table. If their truth tables are the same, true, 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 false, 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 right? So notice their columns are identical. Therefore, the two statements are logically equivalent. Okay? So if you were to do this for those 4 statements that we've been working with for the last 20 minutes, notice this page is the only page we're covering today. Is it hard? Yeah, we're spending a lot of time on it. It's not hard to look at, but it's hard to understand. So if we're looking at this, we're having some hard time understanding this. What you guys have to understand to help you kind of make sense of it is that these are facts. If you were to make truth tables for these values, they are exactly the same truth table, therefore they're logically equivalent, therefore they stand, they hold. That's how you would prove them. You show their truth tables are the same. Because to be logically equivalent, the truth tables are the same. Okay, we're just not making a truth table for all 4 equivalent statements here. Okay? And you have the other equivalent statements that are in example 12. Notice these all refer to example 12. You guys go back to example 12, which you need to know example 12 for the test. You'll be able to see that there's other statements there. Okay, exercise 10. You guys do exercise 10. When it's done, bring it to me and show me. Red, fish, you got your force factors. Okay. We want the negation of the conjunction of P and Q. Okay. The negation of the conjunction. So you start with the conjunction. You're going to write the disjunction. Okay. So, you got to go. So this is what they're saying to write. Right. You want to write this. They're saying to write this. conditional statement, look. You're gonna start with this. This is the negation of conditional statement. You need to write this. So you're gonna write P and not Q in this case. You need to write Fred's a fish and 11. Okay? You wanna check yours while I'm going? You guys wanna just look at yours while I'm checking his? If it's anything wrong, I need to see it so I can explain to you. Okay, so it says and or, right? You need the or and and. Okay, look. So you have the negation of a conjunction. You're not writing a conjunction, you're not the negation of a conjunction. So you're going to look, negation of a conjunction means you have a conjunction, right? You want the negation of it, right? You need to write this statement. Okay? Not P or not P. So you write not P or not P. Fish is, Fred is not a fish, or a lemon is not a lemon. So go through and look at all these. If it's telling you to do one of these, a negation of conjunction, a negation of any of these, then you need to go look at all these, okay? Yours all right? Oh, no, you did a great job. Did that help on that, on the, talking about truth tables? So truth tables are why the statements are wrong. Okay, bud? So it's just part of the definition. The definition says this has to happen. Does that make sense? Did you put them in camps already too? Yep. Sweet. What was it out of?